Welcome to video guide number 4, creating teams and registering them. So Godsport handles teams and rosters in a funny way, and once you understand that, things can become a little more clear when using the site. So bear with me a moment while I use this skillfully crafted diagram to explain what I mean. Okay, here we have our team, Demo FC 2010 Boys. Demo FC 2010 Boys has members of the team attached to it, but Godsport has what it calls events, which is just an umbrella term for both leagues and tournaments. Rosters are not automatically carried over from one event to the next, meaning the team has a separate roster for each event, though these can be cloned from one to the next. When you register for an event, the team has an empty event roster for that specific event, in addition to their base roster and any other event rosters. This is why we use the Roster Builder tab for creating/changing rosters. The Roster Builder tab allows us to manage each event roster separately, though the league event roster is what you'd consider your official roster. This is also why I have you create your teams and register them before adding players and coaches. It allows for easily rostering via roster import. With that out of the way, let's actually create our teams and get them registered for the league event so we can get them rostered. From our club dashboard, let's go to Teams under Club Management. Click the blue New Team button on the right of the page. Enter the team name, and I suggest putting the birth year in the team name rather than the current age, such as U14, since the birth year is static and will always be correct, but the age of the team will always be changing with each year. It's just a little future proofing. Ignore the colors options. Set the competitive level to competitive. Select the gender and age. And just a note, if you are doing this before, I believe it's July 31st, then the ages that are shown here on the drop downs, you'll notice are off by a year. And that is because it still hasn't aged up, since it's technically still last year's governing season until that date happens and it flips over in the system. So if they are, for example, going to be a U13 team, select the option that'll have them showing as a U12 team right now. And again, this is only if you're doing this before July 31st. Now moving on, just select soccer, of course, for the sport. Leave the rankings profile ID blank. Ignore the logo upload, as that can be set for all teams at once from the club dashboard settings. Leave the archive box unchecked. For team affiliations at the bottom, select US Club, leave the team number blank, and then select competitive from the competitive level dropdown. Click save. Now rinse and repeat until you've got all your teams in there. We've got our teams created, which means we now need to register them to the league event. While still in the Teams tab, select Registration at the top of the page. Scroll down, and it should be the second option, US Club Soccer 2023-24 Registration/Pass Cards and Rosters. Click Register. On this next screen, you'll first make sure that the drop-down menu at the top of the page underneath Register Teams is set to Ohio Champions League 2023-24 US Club Soccer Registration/Pass Cards and Rosters. What a mouthful. Not the default US Club option. This is how you get our discounted fees on the cost of player and coach memberships. So it's crucial that you do this to not overpay. Now just either click Select All or check the boxes of the teams you wish to register, then select Register at the top next to the drop-down menu. A pop-up will prompt you to enter the competitive level, I'm sensing a pattern here, and click a Final Register button. Congratulations! Now on the league side, I go in and approve the registrations, which will send you a confirmation email and allow you to create an event roster for the league. So we now know how Godsport handles teams, events, and rosters, as well as how to create teams and register them for these events. In the next video, we will be adding players to our dashboard, but as I mentioned in the first video, if the parents will be accessing Godsport, then you will use Video Guide 5A to add players. If you are going to enter and upload everything on behalf of the parents, then you will use 5B.